Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm Sean Anderson, your host for Ponca City Public Schools. This is our monthly visit with Superintendent Shelley Arrott, where we talk about the school board meeting in detail of how it went, and it always starts with awards and presentations and awards.
It's
Always
always the
first on the
fun part.
list. Yeah, yeah.
During the school year, we do present awards. We present three awards: a certified employee of the month, a support employee of the month, and then a friend of education who's a volunteer. So, our certified employee for the month of October is Sandy Hassenfratz. Sandy is at Union. She is an instructional coach. She's been with the district many years, and this year she's instructional coach at Union and at Garfield. So she picked up those extra duties just with pleasure, and she's doing a great job. Our support personnel of the month is Mr. Kirk Hollis. He is our district therapist, and he is amazing. His expertise and knowledge, how he can support our kids and our students, is just amazing. So he is a go-to resource for the district, and he is always supportive and have the best interest of our kids in mind. The Friend of Education is First National Bank. They are a huge supporter of the district, but they are also pie partners of East Middle School, and they have done a lot to support the staff at East. So we're always thankful for our award winners.
Yes, student presentations. This is a fun part of the board meeting as
Yes.
well. And what was the presentation this month?
Well, the presentation was from Woodlands Elementary fourth graders, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but we recently had our District United Way fundraising campaign, and our goal is to raise more than we did the year before. Our district raised $49,000 in
Wow.
a week for United Way.
Wow.
And we do staff campaigns and student campaigns, and the Woodland students knocked it out of the park. Their goal was to raise $1,500. They raised $1,800.
Wow.
They did penny wars, and the class that won was Miss McClellan's fourth grade. They brought in 85 pounds worth of coins.
Just
Can you
incredible.
believe that?
That's amazing. That's incredible.
And they did a great job. It gives kids the opportunity to do some public speaking, and it also gives our board members the chance to hear what's going on in our sites. So,
Yeah, very good. Building assessment reviews was part of the October Board of Education meeting. What are these?
well, this is the opportunity for the site principal to come in and talk about where they are with their data, their academic data in regard to reading and math, and their action plan on what they're going to do to improve that data, and maybe some strengths that they're seeing and some challenges they're facing. So we had Lori Cox. She is the principal at Liberty. You know, she was at Garfield
Right.
last year, and she went to Liberty this year. And then we had Liz Hargraves from Lincoln Elementary, and they both did an excellent job. So we have two presentations each month, and then the board has the opportunity to ask questions or
Good.
in
Good.
regard to what's going on at the sites.
One book, one district. We always look forward to one book, one district. And this year, an addition to the one book, one district, to making it even better. And Shelley Arrott, this is exciting.
It is exciting, and I know that One Book, One District is one of your favorite
It
activities
is.
that we do as well. Well, I think we've talked about it before in Board Wrap Up or on the radio show that we are increasing the time that our students read in the classroom. You know, there's a lot of research that says students need to read 15 minutes to see any academic gains of pleasure,
Right.
and the average student reads about 7 minutes, and that's in the United States,
Right.
not just in Ponca City. So we're increasing our reading time, and because of that, we've only done one book, one district with the elementary schools before. We're adding a selection for our middle schools, both east and west, and that will give the opportunity for them to have great conversations in regard to theme and plot. And you know, when it's almost like a district book club. It gives everybody a lot to talk about. They're all talking about the same book.
Oh,
And we're doing two books. Elementary is A Boy Called Bat, and it's about a little boy named Bixby Alexander Tam. And long story short, His mom is a veterinarian and she rescues a skunk, and they have to keep it for a month before it can go to a wildlife rescue. So he's trying to convince his mom that a skunk is a great house pet. So that's a good one.
All right.
And this one's great for middle school. It's Restart. It's about a boy named Chase who fell off a building, hit his head. He was fine, woke up in the hospital, and all he could remember was his name. And when he went back to school, there were some kids that thought he was a hero, and then there were some kids who were afraid of him. And he was like, why are people afraid of me? Well, it turns out he had been a bully before.
Oh.
So hence the title, Restart. He wants to restart his life and become a different person. So this is a great story too. So you read along with us, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. We
Okay,
will.
so you're going to pick a book.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
we'll read both of those on the radio, and you can hear our daily chapter recaps on KPNC and KLOR on both radio stations. As we read along with One Book, One District, we're really excited, and both of those books sound amazing.
They are. They're both great. So when a community reads together, there's certainly a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. There were a lot of contracts, agreements, financial reports, and things like that.
Just
what
some
were the highlights?
basics. I'll just name a couple. We purchased some software called Imagine Learning that we had used with our EL students and had seen some great results. We used it in summer school for Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions for students who needed that little extra boost, and got great results. So we purchased that for Tier 2 and Tier 3 in our elementary schools. And then something that is really cool is we have a memorandum of understanding with the Kay County Sheriff and the Ponca City Police Department, and it's called Handle with Care. And so many of our students are involved in trauma, maybe the evening before. So how this works is the law enforcement agency who may work on a scene, a crime scene, if there's one of our students involved, they will contact me, provide me a name and an age and one message, and it's Handle with Care. That tells us that student experienced some trauma the previous evening, and then I'll get in touch with the principal, counselor, and we will have some supports in place for that student. So
that is fantastic.
I know, it is awesome.
That is incredible. A resolution to the Kay County Election Board. What was this all about?
Well, the board has to actually act on this each year. It's calling for the annual school board election. And this year it's for Ward 5 and Dawn Newsom's seat. Dawn's been on the board for 20-something years, probably 27. So it just declares the filing date. The filing date is December 4th is the last day to file, and we just said that we're calling for that election. It's required to do that.
New and revised Board of Education policies, specifically the wellness plan.
Yes, we updated our wellness plan, and then each year, depending on the current session legislation, we have to update our policies because there's a lot of school laws that changed each year. So in September, we reviewed the policies. I did that in the superintendent's report, and then in October, the board comes in and approves those policies. The public may find my summary of the policies on our website, www.pcps.us, under board policies, and then it shows the proposed board policies. And they approved all of those with the exception of 2, and we're just going to talk about some verbiage on 2 of those, and I'll talk to you about those next month.
Fantastic. There was an action on recognizing upcoming events.
Oh, we have a lot of events coming up, big events, and they're always a pleasure for our students and our teachers to participate in. One event coming up in November is American Education Week, and that's just a celebration of public education. It's the week of November 18th, and then coinciding with that event, we have the National Education Support Personnel Day, and it's going to be the Wednesday of that week. And as you know, without our support personnel, it would be hard
Right.
for our teachers. We just can't operate without
Right.
our bus drivers, our
Right.
CMP, our teachers' assistants, our
Sure.
custodians. So throughout the district, we really celebrate those people during that week as well. Our support people, we're so proud to have them. Crossing guards
Oh, yeah.
make a huge difference for our students and our staff for that matter. And then the entire month of of November is National American Indian Heritage Month, and we will celebrate all month. And then there will be a specific week that all of our students do activities to learn more about culture and themes and do art activities. So that's always a highlight of the year. And then also November 10th through November 16th is Celebrate Freedom Week. And that's just to talk to our kids about the sacrifices that our veterans made for our freedom. So a lot of great insight for our students and a way to honor our veterans as well.
And right around Veterans Day.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. Contracts over $10,000, and these take a special place in a board meeting.
They do. If a contract is below $10,000, it can go on the consent agenda, and then if the contract is above $10,000, it has to be an agenda item on the board agenda. So some of the things that we took action on was Catapult Learning, and you've probably heard me talk about this before. Catapult Learning does our training for our Literacy First, and it's how we guide our assessments and base our instruction. And every year we have a lot of new teachers. We hired 60 new teachers this year.
Right.
And for our elementary teachers, this will be the training for them. It's over several days, not all at the same time, but spread out, and it provides that needed support for that. Then something that we do is we do mad science enrichment programs at our elementary schools, and it's a company that comes in and they bring STEM activities, and they do experiments with each grade level, and then they come back at night and do a family night. So we'll have a mad science night at every one of our elementary schools. Actually, it's all day and then an evening assembly, so our kids love it. They really do. Then something else that we purchased is Insights to Behavior. Sometimes we have some students that have some behaviors that we need to get under control, and the Insights to Behaviors gives our teachers a resource for some interventions that they can use to combat those behaviors. And it actually has a resource library embedded, and then they can also write a BIP, which is a behavior intervention plan. And we can use those in our CART meetings. CART stands for Care and Response Team meetings, and we want to be able to determine the reason for the outburst and then make adjustments or interventions to combat that, so that all students can focus on maximum learning.
Wow, sounds incredible.
It's great. We had our training last week, one of our trainings on a professional development day, and our teachers are really excited. They say it's super easy to use and a huge resource, on the spot resource.
Wow.
They don't have to wait till their CART team meeting to get different ideas.
Very good. Change orders. What are change orders?
A change order is a change in a project.
Okay.
So it could be a negative change order. It means we need to pay a little bit more. There were some added costs, or it can be a positive change order where there's some extra contingency money. We had 2 change orders, and they were both positive for the district.
Okay.
That was leftover contingency money on the Washington remodel. The remodel of the offices, you've noticed on 7th Street, those have moved to the front. Secure entrance. There was a slight change order there, and then we did some improvements at the Howell Auditorium, and we were also going to put in an elevator, and for one reason or another that didn't work out, so we had a pretty hefty contingency from that project, but we will be replacing that elevator next year, so those costs can go to that.
Right. Well, then the October Board of Education meeting went into executive session, and we certainly don't talk specifics about those sessions, but this is a pretty normal thing that happens.
Pretty normal that we have an executive session, and there's only a few things that we can talk about, so it was pretty quick executive session, and then we had our personnel report approval after executive session, and we always have new hires. So
Very good. And a fun thing to check out is the homecoming video. Now,
the hype video.
The hype videos.
It is fabulous.
Speak Now Film Company. They were at homecoming, of course, and perhaps you noticed the cameras, and they're really good at what they do. Tell us about it.
It actually came out before homecoming, but they were there with drones and cameras.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I have watched it, I bet 20 times, and I get chill bumps every time I watch it. They focus on our fans, our students in the stands, our high steppers, our cheerleaders, our band, our color guard. You will be amazed. So if our public hasn't seen it, go to Speak Now Production or Speak Now Film Company.
Yeah.
And you can watch the hype video. It's like 4 minutes, and the whole focus is the Wildcat Way. You know, that's been our mantra this year. And we do the Wildcat of the Week awards. All focuses around the Wildcat Way. So
absolutely. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show for the month of October. We always look forward to this visit with Superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott. I'm Sean Anderson for Ponca City Public Schools. Big thanks to Shelley Arrott. Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time, thank you for watching.